Polar characteristics. The sun rises in the south. The stars do not rise and set, but revolve or spin round and round in horizontal planes, completing one round in 24 hours. The northern celestial hemisphere is alone overhead and visible during the whole year, and the southern or lower celestial world is always invisible. The year consists of only one long day and one long night of 6 months each. There is only one morning and one evening, or the sun rises and sets only once a year, but the twilight, whether of the morning or of the evening, lasts continuously for about 2 months, or 60 periods of 24 hours each. The ruddy light of the morn or the evening twilight is not again confined to a particular part of the horizon, eastern or western as with us, but moves, like the stars at the place, round and round along the horizon, like a potter's wheel, completing one round in every 24 hours. These rounds of the morning light continue to take place until the orb of the sun comes above the horizon. And then the sun follows the same course for 6 months. That is, moves, without setting, round and round the observer, completing one round every 24 hours. 2. The circumpolar characteristics. The sun will always be south of the zenith of the observer, but as this happens even in the case of an observer stationed in the temperate zone, it cannot be regarded as a special characteristic. A large number of stars are circumpolar, that is, they are above the horizon during the entire period of their revolution and hence always visible. The remaining stars rise and set, as in the temperate zone, but revolve in more oblique circles. The year is made up of 3 parts, one long continuous night occurring at the time of the winter solstice and lasting for a period greater than 24 hours and less than 6 months, according to the latitude of the place. One long continuous day, to match, occurring at the time of the summer solstice, and a succession of ordinary days and nights during the rest of the year, a nigthemeron, or a day and a night together, never exceeding a period of 24 hours. The day, after the long continuous night, is at first shorter than the night, but it goes on increasing until it develops into a long continuous day. At the end of the long day, the night is, at first, shorter than the day, but in its turn it begins to gain over the day until the commencement of the long continuous night with which the year ends. The dawn, at the close of the long continuous night, lasts for several days, but its duration and magnificence is proportionally less than at the North Pole, according to the latitude of the place. For some places within a few degrees of the North Pole, the phenomenon of revolving morning lights will still be observable during the greater part of the duration of the dawn. The other dawns, such as those between ordinary days and nights, will, like the dawn in the temperate zone, only last for a few hours. The sun, when above the horizon during the continuous day, will be seen revolving without setting round the observer, as at the pole, but in oblique and not horizontal circles. During the long night, the sun will be entirely below the horizon, while for the rest of the year will rise and set, remaining above the horizon for a part of 24 hours, varying according to the position of the sun in the ecliptic. So here we have 2 distinct sets of differentia, or special characteristics of the polar and circumpolar regions, characteristics which are not found anywhere else on the surface of the globe. Again, as the poles of the Earth are the same today as they were millions of years ago, the above astronomical characteristics would hold good for all time, though the polar climate may have undergone violent changes in the Pleistocene period. In short, we can take these differentiae as unerring guides in the examination of the Vedic evidence bearing on the point at issue. If a Vedic description or tradition discloses any of these characteristics mentioned above, we may safely infer that the tradition is polar or circumpolar in origin, and the phenomenon, if not actually witnessed by the poet, was at least known to him by tradition faithfully handed down from generation to generation. Fortunately, there are many such passages or references in the Vedic literature, and for convenience, these may be divided into two parts. The first, comprising those passages which directly describe or refer to the long night or the long dawn, and the second, consisting of myths and legends which corroborate and indirectly support the first. The evidence in the first part, being direct, is of course more convincing, and we shall therefore begin with that in the next video, reserving consideration the Vedic myths and legends for later videos.